How's it going? Today we're going to take a look at another trading game, High Seas Trader. Another game by Impressions Games. This came out in 1995. Impressions Games, of course, made Lords of the Realm. They made a whole bunch of other popular games as well, and a lot of lesser known ones, which hopefully I will get around to taking a look at one day. Look at this. This is a classic scene of an English seaside village. I grew up near the coast in the UK. They did a good job of this. Textbook seaside village, this is. Nice little animation, loading up the ship there. I believe that it sails off. Yep. And then we get a look at a dude climbing up some rigging. There we go. It's quite nice. It's a trading game, but you can manually sail your ship if you like, which is quite quirky. I think you'd get bored of it quite quickly, but I'll show it off. You can travel around most of the world. There's a whole bunch of different ports. There's faction mechanic between the different nations. They can go to war with one another. The towns can change sort of nationalities if they get attacked and taken over. The various different ports, they can change in size as well, depending on how well their fortunes are changing over the course of the game. Let's get into it. Now, the aim of the game, although it's not explicitly stated in the game, but if you read the manual, your family has lost its honor, and you're trying to regain your family's title. And to do that, you've got to raise up various different reputations with the Merchants Guild. So if we start a new game, I'm going to call myself Captain Copper. We'll play as the English. And what should we call the ship? I'll call it the Rusty Wood. Here we are. We start off in the port of Liverpool. We have a market, a tavern, a bank, a chart house, and a dock where we can do various things, and then we've got leave port, which lets us go to our ship, so we can go to our cabin here. Over here we can come to guild rating, so these are the things that you need to level up throughout the game. Daring is leveled up by combat, so fighting other ships, defeating pirates, defeating ships from other... Well, actually, I think that's just any combat. Any combat increases your daring. Honor goes up. You can move passengers between ports. Some of them will pay you, and some of them will ask for charity. If you take passengers for free, that will increase your honor. Loyalty will go up, I believe, when you attack ships of a nation that your nation is currently at war with. And also if you're moving prisoners or spies of your nation around. That's the passenger mechanic. But if they're prisoners or spies that belong to your nation, your loyalty will go up, and nobility will go up as you're successful at trading. And eventually we want to win back our titles. One of the main ways of progressing through the game is you build up and grow enough wealth that you can eventually come back to your home port, which if you're playing as England is Liverpool. You can buy an estate, and the estate has got an inventory where you can place unique treasures that you will find around the world. For example, you can come across the Mona Lisa. You can buy it if you've got enough money, you bring it back home, you pop it in your estate, and one day you'll have collected all of the treasures. You'll be so wealthy that you will have regained your family's honor and you will be given back your titles. But what else can we do here? We can browse our charts. We'll get into that in a minute because that doesn't really do anything unless we're already at sea. We can set the rations for our crew. So you can have sailors, apprentices, and soldiers. They're all going to need water, meat, rum, and fruit. And then you can set how frequently you want them to be able to eat those. I think we'll keep it on adequate for now, but if you wanted to raise their morale, you could raise it up to extra. You can see it sort of half the amount of time. You could also take it down to meager, but that would affect their morale as well. If their morale is too low for too long, they will mutiny. What else have we got? Okay, we can repair the ship. You probably want to repair a ship at the dock, so you're not using those resources. But if you're at sea and maybe you went through a storm and you need to repair your ship, well, you can use planks and sailcloth to do that. I'm not sure if you can repair the ship in the middle of a fight. Maybe we'll have to check that out if we can manage to get into a fight. We've got logs here, so we can see our trading log, and we can check the prices everywhere. Now, I don't think this is always up to date, but at the start of the game, I believe it is. What else have we got? We've got a journal. This just gives us a basic overview of our current wealth and who's at war with who. An events log. There won't be anything in here, but let's say, I don't know if London, I don't know if it can be taken over, but let's say Spain managed to attack London and they took it over, it would probably pop up in the events log here. Or if England went to war with France, it would pop up here somewhere. We can also speak to barmen for information. Maybe that's how we have to get the information, and it'll pop up here. And we've got a crew log. So this is where we can set our wages. I'm just going to leave it as it is. That seems to be perfectly fine. And we've got the records log. Now this is really useful because you can come in here and you can see exactly what you purchased something for. So if we've got sugar on the ship, you can come in here and it will tell you what you paid for it, which is quite useful. So you can remind yourself if you've forgotten, and you don't have to keep a note of it. It will also give you a running count of how much profit you've made as well. So you don't have to sit there with a calculator to try and figure out if your trip was worth it or not. Right, let's go back to the port and check out the dock. We can buy ships here. I believe we can commission ships as well. There's only 6 unique ships in the game, and whether they're for sale or not is going to change from port to port and over time. So the last time I tried this game, there was only 1 for sale here when I loaded it up. There's 3 military orientated ships, and there's 3 merchant orientated ships. So we can see the 4th rate is the best military ship that you can buy. I believe the frigate is the 2nd best. You can see they're quite expensive. And then we have, I think, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, maybe the flute. It's a type of merchant ship. Okay, if we go to outfit our ship, this is where we can buy supplies. We can also repair our ship. Now, a port will have a quality rating for the repairs it does. So at the moment, we start with poor quality. So our upper hull is quality poor. Let's say we sail to London, and the quality of the port there was high, and we had some repairs there, then the quality of our hull would go up to high. We can also change out the cannons we've got. So if we click on a cannon, we've got these fairly basic cannons. They're better than swivel guns, but they're not great. If we wanted to upgrade our cannons, we could sell the swivel gun and we could buy something else that does more damage. But we'll leave the swivel guns on there at the moment. We could, at the start of the game, which is what I might try and do now, we could sell all our guns to try and get some more money. So, although we're in a fairly small trading ship, it's got about 300 tons of space on it. We just don't have enough money to fill it up with cargo. So, buying cargo to sell is our limiting factor at the start of the game. So, selling off some cannons has got us an extra 1,000. If we go to supplies and materials, we can sell off our materials as well. So we could sell off our small arms. It's probably not worth selling these off, but it'll get us a little bit of extra money. We're not going to get into a fight in the very start of the game, hopefully. No nation should be at war, and as long as we don't go too far from our starting port, we shouldn't bump into any pirates. And if we do, hopefully we'll be able to run away from them. Anyway, the chart house, what can we get in here? There are sea charts in the game. So if it's in bright red, it means you own it. If it's in dark red, you don't own it yet. If you sail into waters where you do not own the chart, your crew will become very unhappy very quickly, and they will sooner or later mutiny. The number at the top of the chart shows you how many years old it is. So charts over time become out of date. when we're sailing, we can look at more detail at the chart we own, and it might show us some spots where there's pirate activity, and it also reduces the chance of us running into rocks or a sandbar or a reef. The older it gets, the higher the chance of us running into one of those obstacles. So maybe every couple of years you want to buy a new chart. I think they vary in how much they cost, and you might have to sail into the area to get to a port in here before you can buy the chart for that area. We can also hire a helmsman here. Now a helmsman is going to allow us to sort of autopilot our ship. And without a helmsman, you're going to have to sail everywhere manually, which might be quite fun at the start of the game, but you'll get pretty tired of it very quickly. Helmsmen have various different skill levels. The higher their skill level, again, it reduces the chance of you running into rocks or reefs or sandbars and things like that. He wants 87 gold a month. I think that's reasonable. To be honest, don't really have much of a choice if you don't want to manually sail your ship everywhere. If I click next, we could buy charts here actually. Let's have a look. What's the chart for up here? Scandinavia. 190. Are they all 190? Ah, I see. Okay. When you own a chart for an area, I believe you also get the logs for their ports and what things are selling for at those ports. So maybe we didn't own the chart for here then. If I'm pretty sure. No, we start with this chart because it's got a number in the top of it. Yeah, you don't want to buy this again at the start of the game. It would be a total waste of money. We'll come back here and we'll buy another chart in a moment because I want to show something off. If we go to the tavern, this is where we can hire more crew. Sailors help sail the ship. Apprentices do the same thing, but not as well. And the soldiers, they're just there in case during naval combat the ships get so close that one boards the other. You can pick up passengers here, and you can also talk to the bartender. Now, if you spend money, you can buy your crew a round of drinks, and that will raise their morale if you need to raise their morale. You can also get gossip. There's no gossip at the very start of the game. Soldiers are going to cost more money than sailors, and sailors are going to cost more money than apprentices. Apprentices, I believe, when your ship is under attack, apprentices are the ones that are working down on the bilges. So it can help if you hire some apprentices to have them working down in the bilges, so your sailors can focus on sailing the ship during combat. But at the start of the game, I don't think we need any. And there's only a limited number out of port at any one time. So if you buy a new ship and it's got a much larger crew capacity on it, you may well want to consider slowly building up your crew as you go from port to port, because it can take some time. We've got a bank. So each nation has its own bank. The interest rates change between them, and it changes over time as well. If your crew mutiny or your ship is sunk, if you have funds in a bank somewhere, it sort of gives you a chance to carry on the game. You can sail back to port or row back to port in a rowing boat because your ship's gone. It's even been taken or sunk. And if you've got enough money to afford a ship, the game will let you continue on, and you use the money in the bank to buy a new ship, and you continue playing the game. When your ship sinks or you lose it, you lose all the money that you were carrying with you, and you lose all of your cargo as well. The interest rate is pretty good sometimes in some of these banks, so stashing away some money might not be a terrible idea. But we definitely can't afford to do that. We need to make some money through trading. So let's go to the market. I believe every market in the game sells the same commodities. At least that's been the case so far in sort of my messing around with the game. I could be wrong about that, but I think they do. It's pretty simple. You click to buy how many you want, and we can see the prices down here. So this is for Liverpool. But how do we decide what would be a good thing to buy or not? Well, if we go to logs, we can see, at least at the moment these are accurate, what's selling for what and where. So if we click on coffee, we're in Liverpool, and then it's ordered by the cost. So it starts off cheapest and it goes to most expensive. Liverpool's quite a cheap place to buy coffee in Europe, because Europe's the only chart that we've got. If we had a chart for South America or the Indies, there may well be a whole bunch of other ports on here that would be selling coffee for far less than Liverpool, because coffee is obviously not made in Liverpool. But we could buy it for 70 here, and then if we go to the next page, we can see that if we sailed it to Bordeaux or Amsterdam, we would make 5 gold profit on each ton of coffee that we shipped around. Probably not worth doing. On a very, very short route, it might be, but... and if you could buy a lot of it, but at the moment, not worth it. So you can quickly click through all the different commodities and just look to see if the port that you're in or a port that you're near is near the bottom of the list. So grain, again, Liverpool's quite cheap, but we really can't make much profit on it. Glasgow is very, very close. Well, actually, how would we get to Glasgow? It might not be, actually. We might have to go all the way around. But again, we'd only make 5 profit. Sugar, no, Liverpool's really high on the list. Same with tea. Arms, okay, well here we go. Right, Liverpool, it's at the top of the list. We can buy it for 130, which is a lot less than we can buy it for anywhere else. And if we took it to Bordeaux, we would make 58 gold on each ton that we took. Now we've got to keep in mind it's going to cost us 130 gold to buy just 1 ton, so we might not be able to buy that many. So it's worth keeping that in mind. You might have a lower margin on a much cheaper commodity that you can buy more of, and overall you'll make more money. But let's see, we could take it to Lisbon, which is a bit further than Bordeaux, and we would make an extra 9 gold on each ton. Might not be worth going all the way to Lisbon for that. Bordeaux's just across the channel, I think, and I think we would have to go down into the Med to get to that city there, so it's definitely not worth going all the way there. Let's have a quick look through the rest. Bordeaux, wool, no. 70, yeah, there's just no profit in furs. Ivory, yeah, same again. What about jewellery? 70. We could sell in London for 81, so that's 11 profit, which might not be terrible because that's quite a short trade route. We can buy silks in London quite cheap, but again, nobody's really paying much for them. Spices, what about liquor, opium? Bordeaux is selling opium fairly cheap. We could buy opium. If we went to Bordeaux to sell our arms, we could then buy opium for 200 and... maybe take it to one of these. I think that's North African coast, so that might not be too far to go. Yeah, same with these. We could make some good money moving some opium. What about tobacco? Glasgow sells it quite cheap, and Bordeaux's way up there. Yeah. I think what we will do is we will go back. We will buy some arms. So let's see how many arms we can buy. And I've forgotten how many. Did I say we were making about 58? So we're making about 67, aren't we? 67 profit on each one. Now, you don't want to have no gold in reserve because you're going to need to pay your crew. And if that happens during the voyage and you can't pay them, they're going to be pretty unhappy. It's not an immediate mutiny, but you don't have long to sort of rectify the situation. So leave a little bit of cash spare. We'll take 45. We should make over 2,000 profit, I believe. So we'll accept that. I wanted to buy a chart as well. I think we can. If I leave, let me just check what my crew are costing me. Sailors, wage rate. Yeah. 250. Okay, I think we could just get away with buying a new chart. Maybe not. Yeah, we should be able to. Right, let's buy a chart for... I thought we could go down to South America, but maybe we can't. Where would coffee be being sold then? Possibly down here. It's not too far away either. Let's go here. I'll buy that. Are you sure? Yes. Actually, there may well be more ports. It's just these are the only charts that are for sale here. I'm pretty sure we can go to ports all along these coasts here. We would just need the appropriate charts. Okay, so I'm going to click done. If I go back to the market and I go to logs, there we go. So we've got some new places showing up here now. So we can buy coffee a lot cheaper in some of these ports. We'd need to look up where they are. Now in the manual, there's a map which lists all the names of the ports, so you would know where to go to. I believe once we're at sea, we can bring up a more detailed chart, and we might be able to click on the ports to see their names. But anyway, let's. Well, it wasn't too far. Would it? How much would they be paying for arms? No, that's T arms. So we could sell Bordeaux 188. 245. It's probably not worth it. It's probably too far. We'll see. Right, let's click done. We need to make some money anyway. We can't travel that far. We'd run out of money and supplies. Would be much better to do the longer trips. Once you've got a larger ship and you've got enough money that you can fill it up with cargo, that's when it's worth doing really long trips. But at the start of the game, when you can't buy much cargo, you want to do fairly short trips. Okay, so let's leave that. I think it's time to leave port, so out we go. Now we've got a compass down here which sort of shows us which direction we're pointing in. So that's island over there that we're looking at. If we raise our sails, we can start moving. It's going to complain that the waters are shallow here, but that's okay. And now I can just turn the boat. This sort of reminds me of like really or quite old CRPGs. CRPGs that try to have sort of free movement, non-grid based movement. I think a bit like the first Elder Scrolls Arena, this sort of reminds me of. Anyway, we're about to crash into the north side of Cornwall there. Oh, we need to get back out to sea. I'll manually sail this down to Bordeaux, and after that I will show how the charts work. Although, actually, if I pop into the cabin, here we go. So can I click on the ports? Yeah, so that's Bordeaux. Here we go. We can see all the different ports here. Can we go to a different... Ah, yes, look, we can go down here. So there's pirate activity. So we would have to sail all the way down here if we wanted to get really good value for our arms. Again, probably absolutely worth it if we had a big ship that we could completely fill with arms, but we don't. We want to do a short trip, so we're just going to go down to here. We'll be back to this screen in a minute when I want to show off the autopiloting. Let's keep going. I think we just want to go north now. We can see our crew down the bottom here. We can see we've got 50 sailors, no soldiers, no apprentices. Actually, I think these guys are the soldiers and these guys are the apprentices. Okay, we want to make our way into the Bay of... I think it's called the Bay of Biscay. If our ship becomes damaged in storms or in battle, where the ship is damaged will show up on this little floor plan over here. Alright, we want to go over here. And we can see which way the wind is going as well. At the moment it's going southwest. Which is, well, we're going south, but we're not going southwest. Now, is this Bordeaux popping up? No. We need to go a bit further east, I think. There it is. I believe that's it up ahead. There we go. You can also use this to sort of click on ships if they're nearby to try and... Well, it will tell you what type of ship it is. Might tell you what nationality it is. And then we can't sail right up to it, but when we get within a certain distance, when we click on it, it'll ask us if we want to dock. So it's quite a relaxing little simulation mini game to sail around. When it's not relaxing is combat. Ship combat is, well, it's a bit janky. You can auto-resolve it, but you may not always get the result you want if you do that. Right, okay, we're at Bordeaux. Let's sell our goods. Got here. Now, you can click here to sell more at once, so when you're buying lots of stuff, you don't have to click hundreds of times. There we go, sell all that. Well, we've definitely made some money. If we leave, no, let's accept that, leave. We'll go back to our ship, we'll go to the cabin, check our logs, and I believe here, and it will tell us exactly how much profit we made. We made 3,000 profit, which is pretty good. Which we can now fully invest into another commodity, and we will autopilot back to where we want to sell it. Now, before we do that, let's just check our resources. Okay, we've barely used any. That's pretty good. These are quite cheap. When you buy some, you buy quite a lot, but it does take up space in your ship, I believe. And repairs average. So if we upgraded all of our components, we would go from a poor hull to an average hull, I believe. I wonder how much that would cost us, actually. If we go to repair, cost 405. Probably not worth it. I'm not planning on getting into combat yet. I'd want a better ship before we did that. But I want to see actually how many crew can we have, because it doesn't really say a maximum somewhere, does it? Let's have a look. Is it in journal? Maybe it's in the port. Let's have a look. Is it under outfit? No, there must be a limit on how many crew you can have. I would have thought, but yeah, in the couple of times that I've messed around with the game, I haven't seen it listed anywhere, and I couldn't see anything about it in the manual. So maybe you can have an unlimited number of crew. I mean, of course, the more crew you've got, the more money it's going to cost you. But yeah. Maybe there's no limit on how many crew you can have. Well, you're only limited by how much you can pay them. Right, we said... Oh, okay, so liquor's quite cheap here. We can buy it for 40. You can sell it in London for 63. Okay, so we'd make 23 on each liquor. And then opium... Yeah, it's the 200. And we could sell it somewhere in the Mediterranean for 51. Now, although the profit is twice as much, it's going to cost us 200 to buy, whereas the liquor would only cost 40. We're going to be able to buy a lot more liquor, and we're limited by the amount of money we've got, I think, at the moment, not by the amount of space on the ship. So I think we're better off buying the liquor, and we'll take it back to London, I think. Yeah, we'll take it back to London. So we'll go done. Let's liquor. We'll buy 10 at a time. How many can we buy? We might be able to fill our ship up with it. No, we can't. Not quite. And I need to go back one anyway because I want to be able to pay my crew. And I forgot before, our sailors are costing us 250, but I've also got the helmsman, so it's closer to like 380, I think. Or no, 330, around that. Anyway, we've got 200. We should make a good bit of profit on that. I'll accept that. Let's leave. And now we don't want to manually sail back, so we have to leave port, and then we'll immediately plot a course. So we'll go to our cabin, click on our charts, and then we hit course, and I believe we can... You're limited to the number of waypoints you've got. You can't go directly into the port, you can only just sort of get near it. The very, very tip of your sword is where you'll place the waypoint. That should get us right outside London. Then you click first mate, and the ship will go, and if any random events happen, you will be given the chance to sort of stop and check it out. Sometimes merchant ships will sort of hail you down and they'll need help with something, and if you help them, it will raise one of your reputation ratings, possibly honor, I think. I can't remember which one off the top of my head. But no, we're not going to stop. Keep going. You do not have enough supplies to meet next month's rations. Okay, so it's sort of warning me that I've ran out of fruit. Fruit spoils faster than everything else, simply because it's fruit and it's perishable. If this happens, you can just click the first mate button here and you'll continue on. Right, now we want to get into London, so we need to make sure that we're facing it. Yes, we will dock, and we will want to buy. The dockmaster has news. Minor hostilities between Spain and England have erupted into war. So this could be an issue for us, since we're probably going to want to venture out into the Mediterranean at some point, or past it. We're going to have to go past Spain, and we may well encounter Spanish captains that want to attack us. Any other news? No. All right, that's it. Let's sell all the liquor that we bought. There we go. Look, we're up to 13,000. Doing quite good. We've doubled our money already. We'll accept that. Let's leave. Before I forget, we need to buy some supplies. And let's have a look. Outfit. Ooh, repairs excellent. So we might upgrade the ship here. Down to 37 fruit. If I click this, there we go. Way more than what we started with. It's only going to use 4 tons of space. Now, if there's something in London that we can make a profit on selling to Liverpool, we found ourselves a nice little trade route. We just go from Liverpool to Bordeaux to London, back to Liverpool. I believe eventually, as you do that, and you stock those ports with whatever you're trading, the value of what you're trading is going to go down in those ports. So eventually, over time, it's quite possible that the trade route starts making you less money and becomes unviable. But you probably want to play the game sort of going around the world, exploring, finding longer and more exotic trade routes anyway. But you could probably repeat this a few more times to make some more money. Materials, we don't need that yet. We're not going on really, really long voyages. If I click done on that, let's upgrade all. How much is that going to cost? 2,000. Not going to do it quite yet because I think we might buy another ship. Let's just see if we can buy something here to take to Liverpool. So we go to logs. Well, what's London got cheap? Now, I'm not sure, and again, it's not mentioned in the manual, and I have Googled it. I don't know what the red means. It might mean that it belongs to a nation that we are at war with. I believe these are Spanish ports. So it might just be telling us that we can't go to those ports. Anyway, we want to trade with Liverpool at the moment, so let's try and find something that's fairly cheap in London. Well, arms are cheap in London, but we don't want to... They're also cheap in Liverpool. Cotton. No. You see, the thing is, like, most goods that are being produced in or near London that would be cheap in London are probably going to be a similar price in Liverpool, but yeah, we couldn't make any money selling those. Ivory, no. Jewelry, no. Silks, no. Spices, no. There might not be anything. Tobacco. Now, well, we have tobacco here, and we could buy it for 70. And we can sell it for 81 in Liverpool. Yeah, that's probably worth it. We'll make 10 on each one. We won't make a huge amount of profit, but we will make a profit. So let's go to tobacco. Let's buy as much as we can. Still not able to fill up our ship. We should make about a, I don't know, 1,700-ish minus our supplies. So just try and be a little more efficient with this. I'll buy a few more. There we go. That should be enough to pay my crew. We'll accept. Let's leave and we'll leave port. I'll plot a course again. So we'll go... We'll click course first. Go here. It does look like we get to Glasgow from this side. And yeah, there we go. Hit first mate. Ooh. Okay, so there's a storm coming. It will warn us because going through a storm can damage the ship, but I think we'll be going away from it. No, we're going to ignore the ship. The approaching ship has opened its gun ports. Okay, so we need to run because I sold all our cannons, which was smart. I think I forgot to sell one of our cannons. We've got one, but we've got no weapons we can put in it. We just need to sail away from it in the opposite direction. Hopefully it can't catch us up. Once the dot is gone, I believe we can hit cannons and we go back. There we go. And I'll hit first mate again. Maybe that was a Spanish captain looking to get us. Right, here we go. Liverpool. Let's sell the tobacco. There we go, we're up to 20,000. Right, what I might do is I might put a little break in here. I will do a bit more trading, and then when I'm ready to purchase a military ship and kit that out, and then I'll show you the combat. So I'll be right back. Right, here we go. I've managed to get into some combat. I haven't been able to buy a better ship, but I did get us some cannons, and we've got some grape shot, we've got soldiers, we've got more crew, and they've all been, well, I've got enough weapons in stock anyway. Now, I think if I click, okay, we might have to change the old cannons here. Grape shot, that's all I bought. Now, you have to, it's a bit finicky. We need to, I'm looking at it dead on there, but our cannons are on the side of the ship, obviously. So if I look this way, port view, and then fire. Ooh, we've got to sort of keep on him. I think he might be running away. Is he coming back? Got to wait for our cannons to reload. There they go. And, oh, I think we missed there. Yep. Now, I don't know if, because of the emulation of the DOS, if the game's running too fast. Oh, no, we're out of ammo. Here we go. I wonder, we might win the boarding combat. We've got more soldiers than they do. Yep, we've killed all their soldiers. We have successfully repelled the boarding party. What do we get then? After scouring the ship, your first mate announces you found 711 gold. And we get to take all of their goods here. So we just grab all this. Take that. Take that. Is there anything else? Nope, we've got everything. That was all our booty. And now it's over. I think, oh, who's that? I think that's just another ship sailing around. England flew. Yeah, I don't think we can attack them. They're from our nation. Anyway, to come out of combat mode, we just click cannons. And there we go. Back into civvy mode. Anyway, that is pretty much the game. Sail around, trade. You do have to level up through the ranks before you can buy some of the better ships. The combat is a little janky. You can auto-resolve it, but I think as long as you've got a decent crew with a reasonable number of soldiers and they've got enough weapons, the AI will always, or usually in my experience, they've always tried to board me. So you can just beat them with that. I mean, I'm in the first type of merchant ship, and I believe they were in a corvette, and we still beat them once the boarding commenced. But yeah, it's quite a nice, charming little game. I just wanted to take a quick look at it. I think I'm going to do a couple more videos on the very first Heroes of Might and Magic game. I want to get that finished. And next week, I've got a whole bunch more games we're going to look at. 3 more videos. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.